Hello everybody. The lesson that we are learning about today fulfills the Utah Core English Language Arts Standard 1 objective for the second grade. Today we will be learning about how to ask and answer questions such as who, what, where, when, why, and how after reading a story. I have chosen a well-known fairy tale to be our example today so that we can discuss our WH questions and determine the main points of our story. First, I will begin with quickly reading the story so that we can refresh our minds on the details so that we can more easily determine the main ideas. The story that we will be discussing today is Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a woman who lived with her only son, a boy named Jack. The woman was very poor, and so she sent Jack to the market to sell their only cow. On the way to the market, Jack met an old man with some magic beans. Jack bought the beans in exchange for the cow. When Jack got home, his mother was furious. She was so angry that she threw the beans out of the window. The next day, a gigantic beanstalk had grown up from where the beans had landed. Jack climbed the beanstalk and was amazed to see an enormous castle perched above the clouds. Jack crept into the enormous castle and saw a giant eating dinner while he talked gently to a chicken. To Jack's amazement, the chicken laid a golden egg on the table. Jack hid until the giant was asleep and then stole the chicken that laid the golden egg. As Jack tried to sneak away, the giant woke up. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I can smell a human one, said the giant. The giant chased after Jack, but Jack reached the bottom of the beanstalk first and cut it down with his axe. Jack was safe from the giant and had a chicken that laid golden eggs. Jack and his mother never had to worry about being poor again. Now that ends our story, and now it's time to start talking about our WH questions. Now the first one is who. In this story, that's fairly easy to determine. Who in this story, the main character, that's Jack. Our next WH question is what. So what was happening? What caused the story to kind of progress from that? Well, we know that Jack had to go to sell the cow to get some money. They were very, very poor, but instead he traded it for the magic bean. Our next WH question is where. Where did it happen from there? So we know that the beanstalk grew, but where did it go to? Well, the beanstalk led to a giant's castle in the clouds. Our next WH question is when. When did all of this happen? When did the beanstalk grow when just that night before, it had just been a little tiny bean? Well, we knew that the beanstalk grew overnight while Jack slept. Another indication that that bean must have been magic. Why? Why did Jack want to go to the top of the beanstalk? Why did he climb? Well, to simply put it, Jack wanted to see what was at the top of the beanstalk. I think he was like any of us would be in that situation. He was pretty curious. Okay, our last WH question isn't really a WH question at all, but it's how. How did this story resolve itself at that point? We know that the giant noticed that Jack was there. He started chasing him, But how did Jack get away? Well, Jack cut down the beanstalk while the giant was climbing down, and the giant fell. At this point, we know that Jack and his mother were able to have their happily ever after. They now had the chicken that laid the golden egg. They were no longer going to be poor, and that allowed them to have their own little version of happily ever after. I hope that this little demonstration was helpful to all of you as we all start our next unit on our WH questions. We will be going over this in our next few lessons, but this is a good little outline to kind of show you that when we're trying to determine those main parts of a story, to just kind of break the story down. What's the who? What's the what? The where? The when? The why? And the how? And then we can kind of get our main ideas of the story a little bit more pinned down and determined. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.